Are you ready for some good news? You are called to work out your salvation, but not to work at it or for it. Here's today's text from Philippians chapter 2. Therefore, my beloved, as you have always obeyed, so now, not only as in my presence, but much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. For it is God who works in you both to will and to work for His good pleasure. Philippians 2, 12 to 13. Lovers of grace like I might be tempted to hasten past Paul's exhortation to work out your own salvation because at first glance seems to fly in the face of grace. But then we must remember this is the same apostle whose pen has taught more of God's grace than any other gospel writer. Simply put, there is no way the man who preached grace to the Gentiles and who wrote Galatians and Romans could in any manner suggest that our salvation is partly due to our works. There's a vast difference between working for one's salvation and working out of one's salvation. It's the assurance of salvation that energizes all the work of your life. Some years ago, we sold our house in which we'd raised our kids for 16 years. As you might imagine, it was an arduous chore. Getting an old house ready for the market meant clearing out closets, cleaning, painting, beautifying the yard. It was hard work. But it was a chore fueled by hope. We believed it was worth the work because we had hope that someone would buy the house. Now, once we sold the house, it was time to get everything out of the house. There was a deadline. People were moving in. It was a done deal. The work of removing everything and leaving the house in good shape for the new owners was no longer a chore rooted in hope. Now it's even more. It's a task energized by assurance. Woefully, after all the work to get the house prepared for the market and all the work to prepare the house for delivery to the new owners, the buyers breached the contract and backed out. So we had to get the house ready again for market. Well, this time around, I had lost all joy. I was angry at the contract breakers, frustrated with the arduous chore, doubtful of positive results. It was just the work that started with hope and then got energized by assurance became a labor riddled with angst and fits of frustration. If we work for salvation or work at salvation, we'll be filled with angst, frustration, and possible despair. But when we work out of salvation, that is, work by the energy of hope and the certainty of salvation, we'll have joy for the journey. Paul's saying, you've been saved, so with the hope of heaven and the assurance of security in Christ, work with all your heart for the glory of God. It's the difference in working on a house that's been bought versus working on a house you doubt anyone will want. Hope and assurance energize the soul, and that's the gospel. Well, that's today's daily devotional, but if you want some more good news, please go visit us at sharingthelight.org. You can find this whole broadcast in its entirety along with lots of other free resources, sharingthelight.org.